And good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and wherever you may be worldwide. It's Stephen Sherba with Emotional Soul Healing, and I welcome you and invite you here to another guided healing meditation. And today we're talking about this area right in here, dealing with self-expression, back in with the throat chakra. So if you're able to attend or able to join for the meditation, by all means. If you are driving, please pull over. Or if you're under the influence or operating heavy machinery, please do not listen to the recording. So I'd like you to find yourself here into a comfortable position. Just uncrossing your hands, uncrossing your feet, closing your eyes, and taking in 3 deep breaths, please. And in your mind's eye, visualizing having a large silver plate. Or as required, you're welcome to bring out as many plates as required here. Whatever, if you're thinking of things or if your mind feels occupied, if there's any of the stress, any of the worries, any of the anxiety, we're going to place as much of it here, either from today or the past week or the past month, whatever's occupying your mind, and placing it onto these silver plates. Please be kind with yourself. Be generous with the opportunity. That's throughout the meditation here. And truly, it's like whatever we ate in the last week or the last month, we don't really think about it. It's the same thing with what we think about. Do we really need all of it? As we are as a spiritual being living a temporary human physical experience, we're now in the 5D here, so let's take advantage of it. So whatever it is, or if there's something deep down inside you'd like to let go of, throughout this meditation, we'll go in there and clear it out accordingly. So, and whenever you're ready, watching these silver plates rising higher and higher into the vastness of the universe until you no longer see them. Imagine yourself here walking through your garden, sensing and feeling the sun's warmth in your skin, smelling the fragrance of the flowers and trees throughout your garden, and continuing through your garden and towards the edge of it, walking up the set of stairs, up to the door, guarding your own private island. In the doorway, there's a key. Taking this key and unlocking this door, stepping into your island, closing the door behind you, locking it, and keeping the key with you. This is your home away from home. This is your private sanctuary. And I'd like you to invoke and invite here onto your island your younger inner child. And whatever shows up here on your island, giving this inner child both a hug and a kiss. As you gaze deep into the eyes of this inner child, how happy is this inner child? Is there an empty look? Is there a sense of despair? Or is there a sense of who are you? Where have you been? Or is there a feeling of sadness or loneliness there? I'd like you to give this inner child both a hug and a kiss, and thank your inner child for being here. I'd like you to invoke and invite here from the light your master guide and guides. And whether you see them or not, it doesn't matter. Simply acknowledging and thanking your guides from the light for being here. Your guides are going to be showing you here on your island and in your mind's eye some older movies, some older experiences that are coming from one's past. So find yourself here into a comfortable position. And equally here, if you don't see anything, just remain in your silence. Make yourself comfortable. Enjoy your movies. And I'll be back with you in just a moment. I'd like you to invoke and invite here onto your island your healer guides from the light. And you're going to be asking these guides to assist you that for whatever showed up in your mind's eye, and there's no judgment, there's no blame, for any of the files and for any of the feelings that are coming up here, for anything that's whatever that either we feel that on the inside, if we're having a tough time authentically expressing what's on our mind, what we're holding on to, what is on the inside, either that we've bottled up for so long, or wishing we had deep down inside the big guts of it to really say, I don't need this shit anymore. It's time for me now to really let it go. Because if this throat chakra, if it's closed, it's going to affect the heart. And the heart is infinitely more powerful than what's up here. Because the heart is the one that's connected up to our soul. And it's connected up to our higher self. That's our life force. Or that's our life essence with that. The life force is down in the sacral chakra. The throat here, if this is not handled properly with or expressed well, it can affect every other form of our chakras here, at least for the lower chakras going down. So if there's any files or if there's any feelings, let's say there's vulnerability, sensitivity, having a tough time expressing, if there's a feeling of inadequacy, or deep down inside having any self-confidence issues, not being in one's power, not having a voice, not feeling heard, not feeling respected, struggling with it for whatever it is. And be kind with yourself. This is something that I had gone through for many years, and it was a tough one. So each and every one of us, when we come here to this physical plane, we, on the other side, we volunteer for coming here on the soul's behalf to live a physical experience. And it's most important there, for gosh sakes, speaking like leadership and relationships, they're a key element in our life. And I'll share with my own experience. And this was a vulnerable one for me. If one has a tough time expressing or not asking for things, and it might sound silly for some, or it might sound, wow, this is kind of weird. What I've learned over the years is that what one person takes for granted, somebody else out there may spend $5,000 or $10,000 or maybe $25,000 to learn that skill set. And I'm not just talking about being at the college or at the university. It's these are essential skills that I want to be learning all this and learning and up-leveling with this. So for any of the feelings that are coming up with this, and whatever it is from childhood that perhaps unfortunately, if it was a tougher type of experience, you don't want to be stuck by it. And especially if back in here, if it's a tough time, if you're still holding on to things from the past, because I'll share a secret here. If this part here, if it's not expressed well, and if we hold on to that energy, it sits on the inside. And the energy is everything. And if you think about Nikola Tesla, I can feel it in my own throat here. So it's with me even expressing my own. It's for me really expressing and owning my own voice with this. So this was something for me that I had struggled with for many years. So what I was sharing there with Nikola Tesla, that whatever we think about in terms of frequency, energy, and vibrations, if that energy up here, if it's not expressed well, it sits in it accumulates down here and accumulates within the body. And whatever is not dealt with properly, at some point it's going to catch up with us. And I truly believe that each and every day it is a gift being here. And we're not just here on a picnic. We're coming here we're coming here for something much bigger with this. So before I get off side rail with something else here, my lesson here in this lifetime, as you just saw there, it was back in the throat here. It was really being open and being honest and being vulnerable with myself, that the self-expression, it literally opens up all the doors here. Because if one doesn't have a voice, if one's not feeling heard, it closes off a lot of doors. So if this resonates here, and if there's any files or any feelings of either feeling worried, sadness, loneliness, or hiding out, and I mean, it's brutal for some people that if they're not expressing, or if they're really holding on to something that deep down inside, they wish for whatever stuckness they went through, if they're holding on to it, and if they numb it out, whether it's with substances, whether it's with drinking, or they shovel all of it underneath the rug. And they can be great talkers, having a really good time. The moment when that emotional vulnerability comes in, or having to express things that deep down inside, like, nope, we're not going to talk about this, or that's like all hush hush. I mean, it catches up with us. I mean, it's not rocket science that if we hold on to things, it's energy. That energy, if it sits on the inside at some point, it will express itself in the body as either as a dis-ease within the body. I'll say it in a blunt way, that if the energy is not handled properly, as we are as a spiritual being, the emotions is what's most vital and most essential for the soul. Because what we're expressing, this here is the essence of it, and what we express, the expression of it is what's the energy behind it? What's the energy that's coming out from here? Is it one being in one's power? Is it feeling lack? Is it feeling of insecurity? Or deep down inside, is there feelings of vulnerability with this? And this I'm sharing this openly here. This was something that I had struggled with for many years, and I'm on making a decision that enough's enough. It's time with doing something else here. So for any of the files and for any of the feelings with any of this here, I'd like you to ask you guides here from the light to assist you with any of the files and for any of the feelings. For all that was just brought up there, if there's feelings of feeling stuck, sadness, if deep down inside having a fear of expressing, not talking, not feeling heard, feeling small, without having a voice, having a tough time asking, if it's walking on eggshells, if it's the feeling of despair or despise, if it's the feeling of enviness, procrastination, laziness in the sense that deep down inside there's an essence or a part where we'd really like to ask for something, but there's that hesitancy on the inside. Wouldn't so much say as a form of laziness. There's a it comes in a couple different flows with that. If one person's not willing to grow from the experience, and if they settle with not growing or overcoming with whatever they went through and sitting in the back seat with it, that can be the tough one. That's what I'm implying with that. And again, this is just coming from my own experience. The laziness there, if it's not willing to grow or to out level it, or with really being the change with it, or feeling stuck at some point, because at some point when we grow up, eventually we're going to hit when we leave high school, and for some of us, we want going to college or a vocation school, or taking an apprenticeship, or doing something else there. If that voice is not utilized or not cultivated or exercised on a daily basis, at some point it's going to dry up. So by the time later on in life, we're going to be going through our 30s and 40s and 50s and onwards. And I truly believe that our most productive years are the years ahead of us. So for any of these files and for any of these feelings, whatever resonates here, asking you guys to have all these files and all these feelings, known or unknown, perceived or experienced, back from the trigger point, the initial boiler point, any of the masks worn throughout all the years with this, everything coming in from the family, from the culture, from the religion. And technically, when we come here from the universe, we're coming here in pristine condition in most cases with this. So if there's anything there that deep inside you'd like to release it, I'm going to ask you guys to assist with having all these files and all these feelings energetically cut from the mom and dad, from the family, the culture, and the religion, from the entire collective energies of all this here, and energetically from one's past, present, and future self, and placing all these files and all of these feelings into the field with peace, compassion, universal love and grace. Taking in a deep breath, please. Holding it, and with a purifying exhale, breathing it all out. For any of the files or for any of the feelings coming with this, if there's a feeling on the inside that for whatever happened, it's never too late. There's always a second chance with the willingness to change, with the willingness of being the change, taking ownership, taking responsibility for whatever happened. And if there's any feelings, if it's feeling stuck, whether it's coming from, it was a tough experience, or it was coming from a vulnerable experience. And for the women out there, for the gents, if they had a tougher experience, say, growing up where they didn't have a voice, or depending on the culture, the race, or the ethnicity, especially for the women there, if they had to wear a veil, or not having a voice, feeling silenced, or if it was the men that were always in the front and they were always the ones speaking and the women were sitting in the back there without a voice. I'm sure maybe in some relationships it's the other way around, with no judgment and there is no blame. You're going to ask your guides here from the light to assist you if there was any traumas associated with this, whether it was mental, emotional, or physical, including spiritual. Any of these files and any of these feelings coming in from here, back from the throat, anything back in from the inner child, back from the parents, the family, the culture, and the religion, all the initial files, triggers, boiler points, the known and unknown files, and any of the, if there's anything there, if it was experienced or perceived, asking you guys here from the light to collectively take all these files and all these feelings from one's past, present, and future self. We're going to place all these files and all these feelings into the field with peace, compassion, universal love and grace. Taking in a deep breath, please. Holding it, and with a purifying exhale, breathing it all out. For any of the files and for any of the feelings, if there was a fear, a feeling held back, if there was any energies where on the inside, where you can feel it from, if it was having a tough time expressing and wishing deep down inside, what was the feeling there that, or what was it deep down inside you wished, you really, really wished you could tell somebody something? And for all those years, whatever it was, whatever it is that you had a tough time forgiving or not letting go of, if it was feeling sad, if it was feeling vulnerable, if it was feeling upset or feeling explosive or feeling anger or angry, if there's feelings of sadness or grief, whatever these feelings are, and that emotional vulnerability that can also come from right within the throat chakra with self-expression. That is it the surface talk, or let's say on a deeper level, I'll use me as the example here, relationships. And I've been very fortunate that I've learned so much from it. That relationships, there's two sides in the aspect that the communicating part of it is most essential. Because if one person's doing all the talking and if the other person's just sitting there, it doesn't work. The relationship requires that balance there, and it's that balance within ourselves, and if we're with a loved one or with another partner there, it's key. That form of communication, there, it's the sauce to the relationship. It's what fosters the growth, how one feels towards somebody else, towards himself, the way they represent themselves. So these are massive lessons that I wound up learning with this. And like I said, it's never too late. It's never too late. And if you think about it, from the youngest experience that you can think of, whatever it is that deep down inside, where you have the understanding at some point, if you felt blocked, if you felt stuck, or deep down inside, if it was a really tough time saying something, if it was coming from the feeling of grief or loss, it was coming from a feeling of sadness, or it could have been something as silly as an embarrassment from a younger age. Or for all the soul agreements, we are all coming, when we volunteer coming here, it's to go through an emotional experience. This is part of the soul contract. It's equally important with not being stuck by it. So with whatever you can think of, without overthinking it, be at peace with it. Whatever needs to flash in front of your mind's eye, or whatever will come up for you later on, it's something there to consider or think about, and then doing at some point a decision saying, okay, enough's enough. The willingness now with letting it go. So for any of the files and for any of the feelings, anything there back with that 3 vibration, if it wasn't feeling happy, and the happiness part is the most essential ingredient with this, if there was feelings of stress, feelings of worry, if there was stubbornness, if it was being happy for everybody else instead of ourself as the first priority, if it was that deep down inside, at saying being happy in one area of our life, whether it's in a relationship, it can be very happy in one's career. And then silently on the inside, there's another part where how authentically happy are we with our own health? Or when we're at work or in front of the family or in front of our friends or out socializing, having that nice mask on the outside where, hey, everything's great, dressed well, looking good, great income, living the dream, and then at nighttime being back home, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and staring up at the ceiling, and if there's tears coming down, what is that area? What's that area inside of you? There's no judgment and there's no blame with this. What's that feeling behind it? I'd like for you to ask your guides here from the light to assist you with whatever that feeling is, known or unknown to you, perceived or experienced, back from the initial trigger, the initial boiler point, any and all of the masks worn, and ask your guides here from the light, asking to have all these files and all these feelings collectively back from the family, the culture, and the religion, and from the entire collective energy of it, and ask you guys collectively everything from the one's past, present, and future self, placing all these files and all these feelings into the field with peace, compassion, universal love and grace. Taking in a deep breath, please. Holding it, and with a purifying exhale, breathing it all out. If there's any other files or any other feelings that you ask yourself there, is there any other resistance on the inside? Is there any other masks holding that resistance? If it was the fear, say, of asking for a raise or asking for that next promotion, if it was a fear of stepping up into one's either own personal relationship with a significant other, if it was taking that next step forward into the next element of growth, and then feeling hindered on the inside or feeling stuck with having a tough time asking for that next, or having just that stuckness on the inside, whatever it is. If there's a fear of that asking for something, if there's a fear or the nervousness behind it, whatever that vulnerability is, ask you guys to assist you with having all these files and all these feelings, known or unknown to you, perceived or experienced, back from the initial trigger and the initial boiler point, and everything back in from the family, the culture, and the religion. And if there's any other chakra walls here, ask you guys to assist you with having all these files and all these feelings coming back out from the family, the culture, and the religion, back from the inner child, and energetically, collectively, from one's past, present, and future self, placing all these files and all these feelings into the field with peace, compassion, universal love and grace. Taking in a deep breath, please. Holding it, and with a purifying exhale, breathing it all out. On the top of your crown, with you, with your inner child, and with all of your guides here from the light, there's going to be a small lotus bud. And invoking and inviting in a pillar of light from the universe. And as this pillar touches the top of your crown, allowing this bud, this lotus bud, to open and blossom, and allowing this white light, as it flows from the top of your crown, flowing down through your spine, down to the tips of your fingers, and down to the bottom of your feet. Filling yourself and completely showering yourself here with the white light. It's the white light from the universe, and it's not your own light. Keep filling yourself in here with the white light. And I'd like you to send and radiate this white light outside of your etherical being, and radiating this white light out in several kilometers or several miles away from your being. Keep filling yourself in here with the white light. And thanking the universe for the white light. I'd like you to give your inner child here both a hug and a kiss, and thank your inner child for supporting you here throughout this meditation. Thanking your guides here from the light. And whenever you're ready, walking back to the door, guarding your island, taking out your key and unlocking this door, stepping out from your island, closing the door behind you, locking it, and keeping the key with you. Walking back down the set of stairs, back out into your garden, and throughout your garden, picking up a flower or two. And whenever you're ready, gently moving your hands and feet, opening your eyes, taking in 1 or 2 deep breaths, and welcome back. So be kind with yourself, treat each other well, keep hydrated, drink a glass of water or 2. If you're feeling tired or such, have a nap or go to bed at an earlier time. And until next time, thank you for joining. Take care.